Welcome back to more Pikmin 2. Last time, we made it through the Cavern of Chaos, so this time, we're continuing to explore the Wistful Wild. For today, we're bringing along 50 purple Pikmin and 50 yellow Pikmin because we have an electric fence and a ton of enemies to deal with. Realistically, we actually might be able to get through the entirety of the Wistful Wild in this day, but I'm actually not going to because of how difficult some of the later challenges are. But yeah, there are only 5 treasures and 3 caverns, so it isn't completely impossible to get through all of this really quickly. But the caverns in particular are very, very stressful, so I'd rather take my time and save the 3rd and final cavern for another day. For now, we have a couple of blowhogs, a fiery blowhog, and a watery blowhog. Let's defeat both with the purple Pikmin before we start to work on this fence. We also have to worry about shearwigs. Also, I am pretty sure that the cloaking burrow nits are also able to tear down bridges. So like the one by the bridge we built yesterday actually can tear down the bridge, if I'm remembering correctly. Similar to the shear grubs and the shear wigs. Alright, so with that taken care of, let's swap over, take the yellow Pikmin to work on this wall. In the meantime, we're going to free these plants. We actually don't need to, in all honesty, because again, look at how many berry sprays we have. But just to show this off, if I'm not mistaken, these only have 1 plant each, but obviously there are 3 total. And they actually work a little bit differently because they don't have one kind of berry. They actually have both, and it's basically random how many of each berry you'll get. I'm not sure if this is the best place to actually get berries because of that. Like, if you want a specific type, you either want to go to the Awakening Wood for spicy berries, or to the Perplexing Pool for bitter berries. By the way, there is a spicy plant in the Perplexing Pool by the Citadel Spiders entrance. I never showed that off, really. I think we passed by it a couple times, but didn't really acknowledge it. Partly because, 1, similar to in the Awakening Wood, there's only 1, so you get 5 berries at a time. 2, we had a ton of spicy sprays as is. And 3, we were kind of rushing through the Perplexing Pool, so yeah, we didn't have time to stop, and most of the time, harvesting berries was spent on the bitter berries instead. So yeah, basically in the Awakening Wood and Perplexing Pool, you can get 10 of one kind and 5 of the other kind. In this area, you basically get a random assortment of both kinds. Alright, so since that's taken care of, we're actually going to have yellow Pikmin carry some of this back, not because we need more yellow Pikmin, but just because we might as well build up our numbers a little bit more. We're almost to the end of our adventure, and we really haven't grown that many Pikmin, so let's bolster our numbers a little bit. In the meantime, as they're carrying this back, we want to investigate this area with this, like, pipe, or like this little like slide going over here. If we go through this, we have another cavern entrance. I'm detecting the howls of countless creatures in the hole ahead. It is nearly deafening. Sound analysis indicates a wide variety of creatures nesting here. It is a melting pot of life. Mr. President, be extremely careful. Olimar, your job is to protect his life at all costs. One thing I actually noticed during this playthrough is that a lot of the caverns don't acknowledge the captains directly, specifically Louis, which makes a lot of sense because they're not entirely sure if you'll have Louis around for some of the caverns. So yeah, only the ones where you're basically guaranteed to have a very specific captain directly acknowledge the president or Louis. That was a very lucky timing on that stun, otherwise we might have been in trouble. We have a couple of creeping chrysanthemums and a withering blowhog. I hope the treasure gets back soon, not in the middle of a fight, but knowing my luck, it probably will be in the middle of a fight. So let's lure this one over away from the others and try to fight this one next, and see how this goes. I might wait on purpose in case the treasure arrives soon, but this should be fine, I hope. Yep, we got the stun, we're totally fine here. I'm also not throwing the Pikmin properly. Alright, so two down, one more to go. I don't know which of these enemies to fight first, obviously. For 15 Pokos, we have the Conifer Spire. Obviously, the Creeping Chrysanthemum is more dangerous, but the Withering Blowhog, technically, I feel like it's a little bit easier to lure away in some ways, but also can interfere in the fight. I ended up fighting this instead, and we got through it no problem, thankfully. There are also fewer pellets in this area. Like, I feel like other than pellets from enemies, there really aren't any in here, which kind of makes sense. It's fall, but even like in the Valley of Repose, it felt like there were more pellets, and that's like the winter area. So first of all, I'm checking the location of the Wollywog. It's far enough away from the bridge to leave the Pikmin alone, but yeah, it is close enough to attack the Pikmin on land as they're passing by. We got the stun, so we managed to get through that no problem. So yeah, we have a treasure from one of the creeping chrysanthemums, and we have a ton of spoils. This will actually take a while because these are purple Pikmin, but that's fine. In the meantime, let's go over to the other side of the water. So we'll definitely need some of this nectar in a bit. I'm actually debating what to do next while we're waiting for all the spoils to arrive, because that's going to take a while. I might go ahead and swap out the yellow Pikmin for some white Pikmin to work on the wall. At least one of the walls. I don't even think we have to break both, but just one. And again, they'll probably not even break it by the time we're ready to move on, but might as well get a head start while we're waiting for the very slow purple Pikmin to complete their task for the day. But yeah, like, with the amount of time we have, we could easily complete the rest of this area in this day. But again, I just don't really feel like it, because of how exhausting it would be to get through all that remains of this area. Alright, so they're making good time, actually. So let's head over here. We're not going to worry about using a spicy spray, we'll just let these Pikmin work as is. And then we'll retrieve the Pikmin, and regroup for the cavern we found, which is probably the worst cavern in the game, which might sound kind of weird actually. You know, the second worst cavern, or the second to last cavern being the really bad one, but it actually has some of my least favorite enemies in the game. So yeah, oddly enough, I do feel like it is actually more challenging than the actual intended final cavern. I do wonder if the white Pikmin are statistically weaker than the other kinds of Pikmin. It does feel like... For 60 Pokos, we have the Armored Nut. As I was saying, I almost feel like the white Pikmin have a harder time with tasks than the other kinds of Pikmin. So I actually do think they might be a little bit weaker, but not too big of a difference. They definitely can complete tasks, but it just takes them... It feels like it takes them a bit longer. So we're still waiting for a couple more Wow, this is going to take forever. I think I'm going to abandon this one, just because, yeah, we'll be here all day if we wait for this. So yeah, I think at this point we'll round up the Pikmin. Again, we'll have plenty of time. The last 2 treasures are literally in this area, so if we have to do this all in one day, it's not a big deal at all. And again, this next cavern is kind of absurd, so I definitely want to get ready for that first things first. Obviously, we might have been able to speed this up a little bit if we had actually brought like the Pikmin numbers we needed to begin with, but again, I definitely wanted to tackle a few different tasks here. So yeah, that's why we started out with a ton of purple Pikmin to get through all the fighting by the impact site. Also, I have 30 white Pikmin, we don't need that many. So yeah, like before, we'll be taking 20 of each. Again, not super necessary, but there are a couple enemies where we definitely want red Pikmin to get through quicker. But again, in theory, we actually don't need red Pikmin at all. I almost feel like they're the one type that you literally don't need for anything. Also, I know I had the same complaint about Pikmin 1, but one thing I actually find very confusing in this version is recentering the camera with Z. By the way, if you hold Z, the camera will actually follow automatically. But I actually find it kind of confusing because sometimes I think it's basically based on Captain's, the angle the Captain is facing, not where the cursor is facing. In the original, because the control stick moved both the Captain and the cursor, they were basically linked. So yeah, sometimes I get a bit turned around with the camera direction because of that. Again, I feel like I should be used to it after 2 of these games, and yet here we are. Our penultimate cavern is the Hole of Heroes. So we're starting off with a garden-themed floor. I always have to look at these plants to see if they're actually enemies or not. This one does not have eyes, so we can safely, or maybe not so safely, head over here. Definitely spoke too soon there. We actually lost a couple of flowers because of the dwarf bulborb, so we're back in business here. This is a really small floor, actually, and it makes me nervous that there's going to be, like, shearwigs or something, or more bulborbs falling from the sky. So yeah, we're going to leave the Pikmin by the exit. That's a safe place to leave them, where they won't be in danger. And in the meantime, is there only one treasure here? It looks like it. So far, we've only seen the female sheargrubs, which are the pale ones. The darker colored ones are the male sheargrubs, and those are the ones that will actually eat Pikmin. These ones will leave our Pikmin alone. I'm almost surprised that there aren't any of the other tougher variants so far. First up is the Corpulent Nut for 80 Pokos. And that takes care of floor 1. Oh, both captains are together. I was hoping one was over here. I almost feel like these last 2 caverns in particular are almost like a best of, which, depending on how well you got through the rest of the game, may or may not be a good thing. But yeah, it kind of feels like the final 2 caverns have a lot of callbacks to earlier areas. like similar aesthetics for areas, and returning enemies as well. Like we have a swooping snitch bug, we have some anode beetles, we have careening dirigibugs. Our radar is acting up, implying that there is an antenna beetle. By the way, that is the name of that enemy, because I think I forgot to look that up last time. Alright, so that's not a great place to be fighting an enemy, but luckily the bomb is able to deal damage in the corner, and we got the stun, so it's actually very fortuitous. If you can defeat them before they even bring out the bomb, that's great. Also, by the way, if you deal damage, the bomb will actually fly farther than if it tosses the bomb itself. So you do want to attack it before it throws the bomb, because that will make things a little bit easier. This is an awful setup. We have the antenna beetle right by a ton of electricity, so that's not great. Trying to fight an enemy that can lure a Pikmin away by a bunch of hazards. So let's try to carefully deal with some of this electricity. We'll defeat these two over here, trying to stay clear of the bumbling snitch bug until we're ready to fight those enemies. I wonder if these two are close enough to actually connect. I actually don't know. But we'll defeat this one anyway, and then defeat this one over here. That was a little bit dangerous. Wow, that purple Pikmin really flew for some reason. At this point, it doesn't really matter. The actual danger has been taken care of. So all that's left is to clear out the enemies. We actually can't really tell where anything is until we actually defeat the antenna beetle, because the radar is not going to work. Again, I have a feeling it probably doesn't even have anything, but it is still worth defeating anyway. We also lost the purple Pikmin over here by this wall, so let's actually break this down. It looks like that's actually where the treasure might be anyway, so it looks like we need to take the white Pikmin. I'm also expecting bombs to start falling on this floor. Again, I almost feel like this game is one that I don't fully trust in terms of level design and overall difficulty scaling, so a lot of times I assume the worst in terms of like hazard placement. Like, I don't know if a bomb shows up on this floor, but since we saw careening dirigibugs, I'm kind of assuming that we might have to deal with that. By the way, the captains can't be buried, but they will take damage from obviously being slammed into the ground, so you do want to shake free. In some ways, I actually like how the Wii and GameCube controllers have the little like octagonal gate around the control stick for like better accuracy for like diagonals, but it definitely makes control stick spinning way noisier than like any other controller. And we have the essence of true love for 60 Pokos. And that's all there is here, actually. So far, only one treasure per floor. This is my second attempt at this floor, because on the first attempt, an enemy fell from the ceiling, and a Pikmin got stuck as I was running away, so I did lose a Pikmin, forcing a restart. This is actually a much better floor layout, though. The actual treasure is really close by, along with the exit. Again, assuming that there's only one treasure per floor. Because that does seem to be the case so far, and I do remember there actually not being that many treasures in this particular cavern, so that would make sense. I'm going to be very careful because this is what caused problems last time. We're going to tear down this wall, actually call Pikmin away to dodge that, and I'm going to take the white Pikmin specifically to pick up this marble over here, because we have volatile Dweevils. So yeah, on my first attempt, one fell from the ceiling. I was trying to run away, and one got stuck on like stuck on a wall like here and wasn't able to escape. So yeah, sometimes the AI can cause problems in their pathfinding and just running straight into a corner and getting stuck, which is definitely not the best. And we have the Love Sphere for 85 Pokos. And yeah, that's everything. How do I want to deal with this, though? Because we do have a few enemies and another wall. Let's try to ground the Withering Blowhog, first of all. Defeat it quickly before the other Blowhogs start to attack, or not. Actually, we stunned the other one, so that's good. And the one closer to the wall. So yeah, overall, we had a pretty good floor layout, nothing too challenging here. With just the Watery Blowhog defeated, we should have enough room to safely destroy this wall. But yeah, that's kind of the interesting thing about this game. Sometimes you'll just have really good luck, and everything is right by the start.